Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel Peterisms, where I tell stories of my life and just little things I've learned as I've grown into the person that I am today. And today we're going to read a meditation. I actually have two. The first one kind of has a story that goes along with it, so I want to read it. It's a short meditation, but I want to read it and then kind of talk about some things after. The second meditation is just so positive and encouraging, and it doesn't really require a lot of discussion or anything. I mean, we could sit here and talk about it for hours if you wanted, but it doesn't really require that. So I think I might just finish the video up with that at the end. It has been such a wonderful day today. I just woke up this morning feeling so peaceful and just serene. And then I did my prayers and my meditations. I actually read several meditation books. And, you know, I haven't talked about this. I mean, I'll talk about doing prayers and meditations in the morning, but if you haven't taken, you know, any time in the morning, or if you haven't tried taking even just 5 minutes out of your day to just be very silent, very still, and just be with yourself and think some positive thoughts about the day and what you want the day to look like. And that's really what affirmations are. And then kind of just go through your head. It could take 10, 30 seconds, maybe list 2 things, 3 things, 20 things, whatever that you're grateful for in your life today. And then whatever your spiritual belief is, if you don't believe in anything, you could just say, you know, to the universe, like, you know, positive vibes out to people and love and kindness and compassion. And that's kind of, you know, how you can start your day in the morning. And I have noticed a huge difference. Now, there are days that I like literally get up and I walk out of the house and I forget to do that. And those days I can tell a difference. I really, really can. And often when that happens, I'll like pull into a parking lot and I'll just kind of sit there for a couple minutes by myself. So you really, really should try it if you haven't tried it. And not to mention that I've talked enough about it on here. So we're going to read 2 meditations. I then went and got my coffee and I came home and I lit all these candles. I have a candle lit over there and it smells fantastic in the house right now. And the dogs are just kind of sitting around. Boo and Tucker are sitting right there, and Pee-Pee's over on the steps. And it's just been a fantastic day today, you know. And I'm ready for the weekend. I'm ready to hang out with my husband and watch some TV and just go do some Christmassy kind of things. And you know, it's always great to just have like a positive attitude, I think, going forward. And, you know, yesterday I talked a lot about building a foundation, you know, in life. And I think that starting our day with a foundation of positivity, love, compassion, tolerance, and kindness allows us to go through the day with having that as our foundation. So anything that kind of hits us, well, that's our starting point. You know what I mean? And if I get up and I'm like, you know, restless, irritable, discontent, which is a 12-step saying, you know, or angry or frustrated or whatever, and I don't like kind of like center myself before I do that, it really affects the rest of my day. So, okay, the first meditation that I want to read to you guys is from Linda Picone's Daily Book of Positive Quotations. It's one of my favorite meditation books of life, and I actually haven't, I've read it daily, almost daily, in my real life off YouTube, but I haven't used it on in a video for quite some time. So today's was something that just is such an important learning experience for me and has been a lesson in my life that I feel like I have had a lot of teachers and mentors that have helped me with this. And it's something that I think all of us will continue to learn and grow until the day we die. I really do. And it is from December 14th, which is today, and it's called Building Character. Character builds slowly, but it can be torn down with incredible swiftness. Faith Baldwin. We can be both strong and fragile at the same time. This is one of the paradoxes of human existence. Sometimes we seem capable of bearing almost anything. Other times, a few harsh words can tear us apart. Maybe this is why we often wonder if we're really as good or as strong as we think we are. A basic kindness we can do for others is to help them protect their own sense of strength and value. I will always try to help build, not destroy, self-esteem in others and in myself. And I think it's a really valuable lesson to ask ourselves as we're going throughout the day. You know, like, how am I affecting others? Like, you know, whatever. And it's definitely something that I have taken a look at very closely recently. And I am doing this massive inventory with my sponsor. We set the date after Christmas. And I'm doing this massive inventory of like the last 20 years of my life and looking at, you know, all of the people that have come in and out of my life and the people that are still there and my interactions with them and what's my part in that. And, you know, like what my feelings are associated with that. It's a 12-step inventory, but really it's, you know, searching and fearless moral inventory, but it's really about looking at how my life, like the patterns of behaviors in my life. And one of the patterns of my behaviors in my life is that I really suffer a lot of social anxiety, and that is like going out in public. And in the past, and YouTube has really, really helped me with this. In the past, I would worry so much what people thought about me, and I'm not talking about like, I don't know how to explain it. Like when people say like, well, I don't know if this person likes me or that. I mean, it was like overwhelmingly so. Like, what are they going to be thinking about me? I didn't want to go to parties where I didn't know people. I didn't want to go out if I didn't know people. I just got very, very nervous in social situations. And if you've watched my vlogs for quite some time, I have, I talked about on there like how I was really doing more stuff with my husband and like trying to like show up and be present for that because that was getting me through my social anxiety. I don't really have social anxiety the way that I did 2 years ago before I started YouTube, and I think just this talking on the camera and vlogging and, putting myself out there and suiting up and showing up to situations has really, really helped with my social anxiety. But when you're a person that struggles with social anxiety, when you're worried about, will they think I'm too heavy? Will they think my outfit looks stupid? Will they not like me? Will they be talking behind my back? What will they be saying? On and on and on. When you're a person that worries about that, I don't worry about it. I will say, 5 years ago, I worried about that 80%, right? Today, I would say it's about 20%. And one of the things that's changed for me is, because I have a hard time when people say, I don't give a shit what other people think. Well, I don't know how you got there, but that's a difficult place to get to, I do care what people think about me. There are a lot of people that I care that think about what they think about me. Mostly the people that are personal in my life, my best friends, my husband, my family members, I do care very much what they think about me. Now, there are a lot of people that I could care less what they think about me, and no matter what I did anyway, it really wouldn't change their perspective. And, my mother always taught me, don't value the opinion of those people you don't value to begin with. And that's a lesson that I live my life by. But when you have horrible social anxiety, okay, of going into situations and you're constantly thinking about what somebody else is going to think about you, it affects your character. It affects how you see yourself. It affects your self-esteem. Self-esteem is character, okay? How we treat others, how we talk, how not speak, okay, but like how we talk to others, how we interact, all of that is about character. When I first got sober, I struggled with this so hard. And when, I worked with my sponsor for a long time on this, and I would come into a room, like a meeting, and I would be like walk into the room like this. And he would always say to me, get your head up, put your eyes up. He would say, you need to meet people where they're at because you're a person of character today. And there's no reason why you should be looking at the ground. You should be proud of who you are as a person. You should be proud of the things that you've done in your life. Stop looking at the ground. You are a person of character today. And one of the things that I feel so blessed in my life is that I have had so many mentors, teachers, brothers, sisters, not like literally brothers, sisters, but types in my life that have taught me what character looks like. Character has nothing to do with how much money you have. It has nothing to do with how loud you can talk. It doesn't matter if your opinion is the most popular. Character somebody is how you treat somebody when nobody is looking, And it's really made me, through time, kind of question who I am and who I want to be, and like I've said, like we're constantly growing, and I believe, like I've said before, like life is like a school and you graduate from one class to the next once you learn a lesson, but we'll continue to learn this lesson of building character throughout our entire lives, I really believe, and I have to say, that this gives me some hope for myself, that I have witnessed in my life people that I feel like had very little character whatsoever, and to grow into people that were highly respected and had a lot of character, And I think it's about really taking a look at any situation and what is my part in that and what am I willing to change. And I really think that's about what building character is about. It's not about saying I don't give a shit what somebody thinks about me. It's not about that at all, It's about giving a shit enough about yourself that you care and you love yourself enough to want to continue to grow into the person that you want to be. And not being resistant to when people say things to you to say, oh, that doesn't apply to me. You know what I mean? But to really take a look at that. You don't have to do that publicly. You could do that privately. You could do that just one-on-one by yourself. You could do it while you're doing your prayers and meditations in the morning. Just kind of just go through your head and think about things that you want to work on with yourself, So I think it's such a valuable meditation in talking about that, that this idea to strive for being a person of character. And, I'll continue to work towards that for the rest of my life. Okay, I do have time for the second meditation. I'm excited. So the second meditation is also from today, and it is from Melody Beatty's Journey to the Heart, Daily Meditations on the Path to Freeing Your Soul. And it is called Open Your Heart to Universal Love. We live in a magical, living, vital, and personal universe, a world where universal love is real. We don't just live in it, we're part of it, visibly and tangibly connected to it. The phone call that comes at the right time, a book that teaches us what we needed to know, a movie that has the message we need to guide us and open our hearts, an opportunity that arises at just the right moment, an idea triggered by something someone says or an object we didn't notice before. The more we are open to universal love, the more it will be there for us, embracing, loving, holding, guiding us. The more we learn to see it, the more it will be there, until we wonder why we never saw it before. Open your heart to universal love. It's more than merely there. It's there for you. Jump into the arms of a living magical world and you leap into the arms of universal love. See how real it can be. I love that meditation so much because, you know, like I like this. I talked a lot about this on my vlog, but I like the idea of believing in things, you know, whether it's UFOs and aliens or the Loch Ness Monster or, you know, whatever. I love all that kind of stuff. And, you know, I'm real into the whole psychic mediums and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, I'm very skeptical, cautious with believing about all of those things. But at the same time, like I want to believe, if that makes sense. I want to believe that the world is a magical place. I want to believe that, you know, there are God moments left and right. And a God moment is when something happens and you go, wow, that was way past coincidence. You know what I mean? Like these things in here that it talks about, you know? The phone call that comes at the right time. Have you ever been thinking about a friend and then they call you? I mean, that happens to me all the time, right? A book that teaches us what we needed to know. Just some random book that you pick up or a book that somebody recommends to you and you think, like, I don't really want to read this book, and then you read it and you're like, oh my God, this like profoundly changed me. I actually talked about this yesterday on my BookTube channel because I had read The Art of Racing in the Rain by Garth Stein, and it's a book from a dog's point of view. So many people told me to read this book. I learned so many lessons about life through that book, you know? And it wasn't a book that I would typically pick up and think, oh, this is like a self-help book, but it really kind of was, you know? A movie that has the message we need to guide us and open our hearts. Have you ever just like turned on a movie and at that moment, like it's really, really what you needed to hear? It's so strange for me, like how often, like this was crazy. I like was looking through my comments on my vlog and somebody had mentioned the movie Trip to Bountiful, right? Which I must have talked about like weeks ago because it was from an old vlog. And the movie Trip to Bountiful with Geraldine Page was one of my mother and I's favorite movies of life. But it's really a lot about acceptance, and it's really a lot about growing older and acceptance. And, you know, I needed to kind of, in that moment, be reminded of that movie. So that happens to me all the time. And I also talked on here, I think it was on here that I talked about it, with my mom and I, or my husband and I, when we went to go see the movie Up. And I was really kind of looking for like a message from my mother at that time in my life. And if you've seen the movie, there's one part in there where he like looks through his wife's scrapbook after she's passed away. And it says in there like, thank you for the adventure, now go have an adventure on your own. Something like that. And I don't know, like when I heard that, it just was like chills. And like I needed to, you know what I mean? So crazy how all that works, isn't it? An opportunity that arises at just the right moment when opportunity meets desire. An idea triggered by something someone says or an object we didn't notice before. And it's all of these kind of like, you know, like have you ever been like around your house and you're like, oh my God, I totally forgot that I had that, you know? And then you get all excited about something new. Those are magical moments in our lives. You know, those are the moments that I think make life truly livable. That when we look at that, we can see that that maybe there is some magic still in the world. Maybe there are miracles that still exist in the world. I like to think that way, especially at the holiday season, you know, with the whole idea of spirituality, Christianity, if that's your belief, you know, Santa Claus, whatever. It's just, it's a very mystical, you know, kind of spiritual time of year. And although I don't pertain to any certain kind of religious background, I love the stillness of the earth, you know? And I remember years ago, I was reading something about the winter solstice, and I don't know a whole lot about it, but I remember I was reading about it, and I was reading about it like the day before the winter solstice, and just the whole idea of it. And, you know, it's interesting to me, and like the traditions that go around the winter solstice. And so, you know, this is such a mystical time of year from so many different, you know, points of view. And I think that, I don't know, I just like to believe that there's some magic out there in the world, and why the hell couldn't it happen at, you know, Christmas time or the holiday season or just the winter time in general when the snow is sparkling and the moon is shining just right and it's beautiful outside, you know? So, I don't know, I love to think that about the world, that there might be just a few magical moments left. Don't you? Anyway, I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.